City Council is hereby called to order for this special meeting of the Kerrville City Council at 10 a.m. on February 2nd, year 2016. The next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action to authorize the mayor to execute and submit on behalf of the City of Kerrville a motion to overturn MTO to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ, pertaining to permits filed by Martin Marietta for the excavation and mining of sand and gravel at 337 Splitrock Road, Kerrville, Texas, 78028, and take any and all other action pursuant to this item. There's a couple things that I would like to bring out in this. Talking about what permits that Martin Marietta has to go through. There are 3 permits that are currently either in progress or they have completed. One is the stormwater permit, and this is the only permit subject to city or anyone else filing an MTO against. Another permit is air permit. Bottom line is we really don't have a right to contest that. But I'm going to talk about something else in a minute that may come into play there. And then the APO, or aggregate production operation. And so that really can't be contested or challenged by the city or anyone else, to my knowledge. And then we have the SWP3, it's a stormwater pollution prevention plan. And Martin Marietta is only required to file notice of intent with TCEQ for issuance, and TCEQ really doesn't approve anything, only make sure that the application is complete and it can't be contested or challenged. So you can see that what the city has before it is very limited on what can be done. They will need a valid well permit from Headwaters. Is to my understanding that is required. We're trying to confirm that. Some things of concern are property values. There's several articles that I have read where there are quarries of this nature that have been in process or have been completed, and property values have gone down a minimum of 20%. So we have a concern there because that's part of our tax base. And it's also part of the valuation of those subdivisions that are in that area. And Martin Marietta is right between 2 subdivisions. Another concern of mine is, and I say mine, I can't speak for council, but I'm sure it's a concern of council as well, as I just stated on the property value, but also reclamation. There are certain reclamation responsibilities that any organization has that does work in the good Lord's earth. And what has been done in the past has been almost minimal, if negligible, by organizations digging or mining. So we're concerned about reclamation. This is in the middle of one of our greatest economic development thoroughfares into Kerrville. It's flat land. Obviously, it's one of the prime properties for development because it is flat, and we live in a area that has topography that is very expensive to move dirt around to build a flat foundation. Another concern of mine is I've had many conversations with residents in that area, and they have asked me questions about radon. I'm not an expert, so I can't respond to that. But for those of you who don't know, radon is a colorless, odorless gas that is created in quarries or operations of this nature. And with radon is carcinogens, about basically cancer. So it is a concern. As far as the permits that have been applied for, this doesn't enter into any of those permits. But what I would encourage is for our citizens, if they're concerned about this, to contact Congressman Smith and talk about EPA. And the EPA has much more teeth than TCEQ. And we come from that direction on EPA issues in relationship to the radon concern. I'm not an expert on it, I can't speak much about it. I don't think anybody up here is an expert on that. I know none of us are doctors, so I can't speak on it. But if you wanna know more about it, then go to cancer.org and type in radon, or you can go to Google, like I did, and just put in 2 words, radon and cancer, and you can look at all the articles relating to it. So there's your answer there. So the question is, what are reasonable land use regulations to protect neighboring residential areas, schools, airport, and to prohibit or limit nuisance conditions? Well, following an annexation, the city may go through the process of applying zoning and then defining the use and applying regulations. We may also apply nuisance regulations, but you know, that's up to city council and city staff as to what we do. I'm just trying to be very transparent here and let you know what some things are available to us. Is there any citizen, it's not on the agenda, but I'm gonna open it up anyway. Is there any citizen that'd like to be heard on this issue that we're addressing today? Try, will you step up and state your name and address, please?
Trevor Hyde, 1077 Pinnacle View. Appreciate council to keep moving forward on this issue. It's disturbing to all the citizens. The chamber, I'm sure you were yesterday, made a motion against the site selection by Martin Marietta, and they're not being transparent. It's a word they use. They use it here with y'all. They used it at the town hall hearing, which about 230 people attended, and not one person got up and spoke in favor of that project. They won't tell you how deep they're gonna dig. They don't wanna tell you where all the material's going. They make it look like they're serving the community of Kerrville, which they just joined the chamber. They just did something with the county at the ag facility, but they don't live here. They couldn't tell us how many of their 10 employees live here, and they're just not good for the community. I think y'all realize that. I support your motion on annexation and want you to continue to move forward. I personally have, and our company have sent in a MTO yesterday afternoon, and I know a bunch of other people are as well. I know a lot of people support your actions and what you're doing, but I think it's socially and morally responsible for companies like this to do their due diligence beforehand. As a developer, you put property under contract, do your due diligence before you make an actual closing on it. The traffic is going to be a major issue. 700,000 dump trucks. The health and safety of our citizens, not even if you live there, if you drive down that roadway, if you come to work. Chris Avery, the Avery family, they're putting a facility out there you're aware of for 500 jobs. They've looked at putting another facility out there. I know he sent you a letter on that for a potential another plant for about 300 to 400 jobs. Could be 500.
500, up to 500.
Yeah, and, you know, we live here. The Averys live here. Fox Saint people live here. Airport people live here. There's not one person at Martin Marietta people the other night. And I do, you know, take offense for them to relay that they're part of this community when everyone there said they don't want them there. So support what you're doing.
Mr. Hyde, while you're there, I have a question for you. I mean, our agenda item today is actually specifically for the motion to overturn, and we've sort of gotten off into annexation and reasons for and against and all of that, and I'm not sure we should be. But, and my question...
You voted for it, correct?
I did, but my question is on the motion to overturn specifically. I'm just saying that's what we're here to consider today. And you said that your organization, Comanche Trace, has filed one?
Well, I have personally.
You have personally?
Yeah, I don't know if you can, I don't know if it's from an organization. It'll have my title on there as president of Comanche Trace.
Okay, and that's fine.
Whichever way
Yeah.
that TCEQ wants to accept it.
Okay, and my question for you, since you're here, and for our city manager and city attorney, since we're doing this in open session, I haven't seen an example of a motion to overturn. Obviously you have. We weren't given that in our packets today. So I'm specifically wondering what the requirements to consider are. In other words, in the specific application motion to overturn, what do they allow you for objections?
I asked that question of TCEQ at town hall. Were you at the town hall meeting?
I was,
And you heard me ask that question to them, and they did not give a
No
clear,
comment.
they did not give a
Yeah.
clear answer, TCEQ, to that.
But you filed one, so that's what I'm
I
curious.
filed one, and all they say is just, this is what you need to do and what you need to send in. It doesn't say why, specifically to certain reasonings and everything.
So
There's no
From my
form.
end,
I think that's what,
There is no form.
It's just a
Oh.
letter.
Yeah, there's a very
Okay.
clear form for
That
what
was
you
my
need to do
question.
to apply to get a permit online, and a citizen, you know, or a company can apply online and get a permit the same day. And this you cannot do online. You gotta send 7 copies in, it's gotta be copied to 2 other people with TCEQ, and so we just followed their procedures that's outlined for us.
So we would obviously want to be consistent, is what I'm getting at with.
Yeah, I'm sure your city attorney, not me, will let y'all know
Okay.
how to.
So, I
proceed
don't know
with
if we're
that.
going in executive
Yes,
session.
we're going into executive.
Okay, so there'll be specific questions.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank y'all.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Trevor. Any other citizen like to be heard? Any other citizen?
Yes, sir.
You want to step to the podium, state your name and address, please, ma'am?
I'm Donna Jones, and I live in Guadalupe Heights. And there was a petition, a partial petition, given to Mr. Mosel, which I thought he would present at the town meeting the other night, which he didn't. But we have done 4 streets, Splitrock, and 3 in Guadalupe Heights. And everyone has been more than welcome to sign the petition that they object. That's all I have to say. I just want that to be on record.
That they object to the permitting,
That they object to the gravel pit, the quarry.
okay. And how many refused to sign?
We had one that refused to sign because they had tried to close him down. He had a taxidermy. My neighbor right in back of me refused to sign because her son works for him. On Oak Way, a man refused to sign because he was mad at the lady that took it around. Because she made too much noise.
So we got 3 objections to a bunch of,
Out of 3 objections, I'd say out of 100.
okay.
And we
And
still, you know,
So that's a 3%.
So, and Ms. Jones, I think we spoke a little bit before the meeting. What is Guadalupe Heights' feelings about annexation to?
I would definitely think they were against it. I did have a few questions. They were concerned if they signed it, did that mean they were signing to be annexed? And I told them, as far as we knew, no.
So to help the situation, they wouldn't?
I don't think you'd get very many that would be in favor of it. We enjoy our little community. It's very peaceful, just real nice. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other citizen like to be heard? Having heard none, Visitor Citizens Forum is hereby closed. Any other comments by council? Do I have a motion to go into executive session if there's no discussion openly?
So moved.
I have a motion to go into executive session. Do I have a
We need
second?
a motion under 55207.
Yeah, thank you.
551.071.
Yeah.
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. City Council at 10:16 is in recess going into executive session. Shouldn't be there too long. Thank you all for coming. Let the record reflect that City Council is out of executive session, back into regular session at 10:50 a.m. That City Council was in consultation with legal counsel, and there's no further action at this time. Therefore, the meeting is adjourned at 10:50 a.m. Thank you all for coming.